Good afternoon, everyone. Before I start, I would like to thank Tony, Heritage Malta, for organizing this wonderful conference and, of course, for inviting me here. And also, I must say that it has been always a pleasure to work with Heritage Malta, this dedicated, creative, and highly professional group of people from the digitization unit. So today, I will be presenting the STECC project, funded by the European Union, as it is a Horizon Europe project. STECC, oh, sorry, I forgot. Here you can see a short overview what our project is all about. So you can see already that it is quite interdisciplinary project because we will be doing a wide range of different activities from different disciplines. So STECC stands for Stone Monument Ensembles and the Climate Change Impact. And it is also the plural for the word stečak. So what is a stečak? Stečak is a type of medieval tombstone found mostly in Bosnia and Herzegovina, but also, of course, in parts of Croatia, Montenegro, and Serbia. And these tombstones are unique to the region. And they're recognized for their cultural, historical, and artistic significance. They are also on the list of UNESCO's World Heritage List, but regardless of their significance, many of them are actually at risk because of different factors such as weathering, so climate change, because of vandalism, and also neglect. As you can see, they're often decorated with symbols and motifs which are describing the social practices, the cultural values, the traditions, and also the religious beliefs. So they have a deeper meaning in themselves. In our project, everything is related to the preservation of cultural heritage from climate change impacts. And as you can see, we have selected different locations in our 8 partner countries where we will be doing our project activities. So efforts to document, study, and preserve these tombstones are therefore essential, and this is why they were chosen as a model to study the impacts of climate change on limestone monuments across Europe. So you can see here that we have locations in Austria, in Germany, in Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, and Bosnia, of course. And we also have location in Malta and France. So these are pictures from some of our previous activities. We all know that climate change poses significant risks to cultural heritage worldwide, impacting both tangible but also intangible aspects of heritage. So in order to address and overcome the challenges posed by climate change, we have to have an integrated approach. We need collaboration from governments, local communities, heritage professionals, scientists, policymakers, all of them actually to develop and also implement sustainable solutions which will help us safeguard our cultural heritage. Here you can have an overview of our partner institutions. Like I mentioned, we have partners from Malta, Austria, Germany, France, Serbia, Montenegro, and Croatia. I would like to present some of our project goals and our upcoming activities. Of course, as it is a Horizon Europe project, it has to be, and it is, of course, an innovative project, so we will be using cutting-edge technologies, we will be using the newest equipment, digital technologies, and also the newest approaches in social sciences. What we will be doing is that all our outputs will be applicable to the whole of Europe. So we have selected these demo cases, but of course we want to apply them and to make use of them in the whole of Europe. One of our first activities is the creation or the development of the Climate Atlas. We have started and we have actually already collected climate data from all our partner countries, and we are currently collecting air pollution data. Because when we gather all these data that we have, we will be able to predict, actually to estimate and then to predict potential climate threats to cultural heritage. And the Climate Atlas in itself for Europe will be presenting 2 climate scenarios in three periods reaching the year 2100. So by that, everyone will be able to open up the atlas and see what is the potential risk with their cultural heritage in a given time. Until now, we have also conducted the condition assessment in part. And the condition assessment is, of course, based on mostly non-destructive methodologies, but it has 2 purposes. One purpose is to improve our understanding of the correlation between the environmental data, the climate factors, and the decay patterns that we find on cultural heritage on one hand, and on the other hand, we need the condition assessment so that we can also plan the conservation work in some of our necropoles and locations. As you can imagine, this is a rather complex process where you can see that we have a wide range of different climate stressors, pollution stressors. There are different mechanisms behind it, and of course it has also different impacts on the stone. So one of our major outputs will be the preservation guidelines, which is basically a monitoring protocol and conservation guideline for limestone monuments, which are then applicable to the whole of Europe. And these preservation guidelines will additionally be strengthened with an economic tool, which will then facilitate optimal decision making when it comes to the protection of cultural heritage. And now we are coming to our work package related to digitization. So, of course, digitization is very important in the context of climate change, and there it has many roles. For example, it can make the cultural heritage more accessible. It will reduce carbon footprints. It can also have a important role in the risk mitigation because we are creating digital backups. So there are many roles of digitization in the context of climate change. And our work package is quite rich in content and very diverse. So one of our outputs will be a methodology to explain what to scan and how to scan. We heard these problems earlier today. So basically, when we come to one of our locations and there are about 100 statues, it will be really hard to choose. And it's actually impossible to choose and scan every artifact in every site because we have on one side budget restrictions, on another side we have time restrictions. So we will be developing a methodology of selecting artifacts to be scanned, and also we will be offering guidelines in how to do it. Of course, the digitization of cultural heritage in Europe represents a dynamic intersection of technology and preservation, reflecting the continent's commitment to safeguarding its rich and diverse history. And as of now, Europe stands at the forefront of this global initiative, and the European Union has been instrumental in funding and supporting numerous digitization initiatives, including Europeana. So the digital assets that we will be acquiring will help us better understand the site and also will help us complete the full documentation of cultural heritage on those sites. Here you can see we'll use different forms of digitization tools and methods. And another important output within the same work package will be the methodology for low-cost digitization, because we will be comparing the low-cost digitization methodologies to the high-end, very sophisticated ones, because we want to highlight the benefits of the low-cost digitization. And the purpose of this is basically to support the EU policy, which is stipulating that the cultural heritage at risk needs to be fully documented as soon as possible, like we heard before. So basically, with this methodology, we'll be allowing the 3D digitization of cultural heritage to become much more accessible. So this is also very important to us. Another component of this, or another task within this work package, is going to be the development of virtual tours on one hand, and on the other hand is the development of an educational game, because we really want to reach out to the younger generations. So we thought that an educational game might be the best way to do it, because we want to teach children about cultural heritage preservation and climate change, so that in the future we have responsible citizens who will take care of it. Another work package is about the work with the community, with the different stakeholders in the society, because this work package aims at increasing citizen scientific literacy. We want to highlight some or point out some socioeconomic benefits. We also want to stimulate the individual but also the collective responsibility in cultural heritage protection. Until now we had a series of social labs, and just speaking from experience of the social lab that we had in Bosnia, where we invited different stakeholders from the society, they were very appreciative that they could share their opinion, that they were involved in this event, and that they wanted to support us. And by that, I think we can rely on the fact that we will have a long-term impacts of this project, because they will be the ones who will carry on the protection of cultural heritage based on the project results. And yes, a very important part of our project is education. We have different education tools within our project. What we want is to strengthen the role of researchers, of conservators, stakeholders of different kinds in the society, and therefore we have summer academies, we have workshops, we have different forms of transfer of knowledge, and most importantly we are giving much attention to the younger generations to learn from the best. And here at the end I would just like to present some of our most important deliverables. That would be the Digital Climate Atlas, which I mentioned at the beginning, the preservation guidelines, the low-cost digitization methodology, the handbook for STATSTI labs, the sustainable cultural tourism strategy, which I hadn't mentioned before. This is, together with our partners from Montenegro, we want to highlight the economic benefits for local communities in terms of protection of cultural heritage, how they can benefit from it while protecting it, of course, and the VR and educational game. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions for the project, I'll be happy to answer.